are. We're back here at the Heartland Cafe. We're up on the stage at the Heartland Cafe at the corner of Glenwood and Lunt. And it's a little bit like a war zone up here. We've been having a lot of construction. We have a new streetscape going on. It's coming along. The sidewalks are poured. They've been broken up and poured again, but it's going to be real beautiful here. And those of you who want to come out today, the sidewalks are clear, so come on up. You are listening to Live from the Heartland on WLUW 88.7, Chicago Sound Alliance. If you have missed previous editions of this show that you want to see and hear, go to youtube.com/heartlandmedia and you will see a vast array of interesting people and topics being discussed. Okay, I've got an old friend of mine here, Pablo Menendez. How are you, Pablo?
Muy bien, gracias.
We had to wake him up this morning to get a copy of his CD so that Dwayne could take it downtown so you could hear it. And Pablo, you got to talk right into that microphone.
Okay.
Okay, so here's a little background story. In 1997, I was with a group that included members of Athletes United for Peace, and we went to Cuba to play baseball with journalists, and we had a great time. We took a band from San Antonio, Texas, and the Cuban bands and the American band would play concerts in Cienfuegos and in Havana. And while we were at a concert in Havana, a young fellow came up to me and said, "You have to hear this group Mezcla, and you have to meet Pablo Menendez." So on that Sunday, I went over to, I don't know, it was near the Chinese market or someplace in there in Havana, and they were just finishing their set. And I got to hear a little bit of it. So I met this guy, this blonde-haired guy, and he, I said, if you ever get to the United States, come to Chicago and play at the Heartland Cafe. And that started off a series of visits that had him and his band playing here on 2 or 3 occasions. We couldn't quite figure that out last night. And then there was a big gap with the Bush years, where we couldn't have you, and now you're back. So, Pablo, tell us all about the road to your return to the States here.
Well, it's really wonderful that after all of these years of the evil empire, we outlived it. We won. We're here, and they're not.
Now we got to figure out how to keep it.
Actually, yeah, it's really an outrageous situation that a country so close to the United States, 90 miles away from the United States, so much common history, so much culture, so much music to be made, and so much music that has been made in the past. I mean, yesterday I turned on a TV and I still saw "I Love Lucy" with Ricky Ricardo. It's like we're talking about something that has so much, like history of why is it that nobody in the United States knows anything about all of the incredible music that's being made in Cuba right now? That for me is like the best music that's being made, the most exciting music made around the world. And we are traveling and touring around the world, constantly as Cuban artists. And the United States has blockaded itself, for all those years of not having us here. So, when you saw last year all of the excitement around the election and the nomination, the inauguration of the new president, and all of the desire that the people of the United States, the people of Cuba have for change, this actually allowing Cuban bands into the United States again is a big step forward. And for us, it's so exciting to see that, the audiences in the United States just love everything we do, everything we say, everything we play. And, it's so great that the coincidence of the economic times being bad and, not enough of a budget to bring the whole band, turns out that we came with 5 of the 7 members of the band, and we picked up locally in each region here in the United States a bass player and a drummer. And it turns out that it's a concrete graphic illustration of how we can make this incredible music together, because we get here and you have like one rehearsal. The musicians have learned all of the charts and know all the music. They've been studying this for years, the styles and things like that. And we have so much in common that the music sounds like we've been playing together, always.
Well, it was a wonderful Thursday over here at the Heartland, because you guys showed up late on Wednesday night, and I think, wasn't that the night we won the championship with
Yeah,
Go Hawks?
yes,
And
yes,
so
yes,
I
yes.
actually refused to pick Pablo up at the airport because I was going to watch this. I knew it would be the last game.
Ah.
And then on Thursday, you guys all assembled here at about noon. And then the two people from Chicago who seem to have a lot of Cuban connections, they showed up. And it was nonstop music all afternoon till about 6:30. Everybody got ready, and at 8 o'clock the place filled up, and there were like old radicals and young people and people who'd been to Cuba, people who wish they could go to Cuba. There were,
You know, it's a mixture that we achieve a lot of times in our audiences, and I think the name of the band being Mezcla,
Which means what, the mixture?
right? Is because in the first place, there's a whole lot of different levels. The first is, of course, that I think the amazing beauty and of humanity is because of the diversity and the fact that we are all children of the mixture on the world. The whole planet is like a mixture of different colors, nationalities, religions, politics, whatever. But that's what makes the human race such an incredible thing. So musically, we express that, and the audience then responds in that way. You see that there's a combination of people that come and enjoy the music, and it's not like music for any particular specific group of people. It's for the human race and the whole planet, right? So it's actually in the sense that I think the people that started off world music or something like that was maybe their intention, or I don't know, because there's always this kind of rock and roll spirit in everything that we do. It's Cuban music, but it's based on the Afro-Cuban, traditions, the fact of the survival culture of the African diaspora, which defines everything about our culture in the world today. I mean, because that lesson for humanity, that after 500 years of cultural genocide, the slave owners did not win, and the African
Hallelujah.
diaspora is
Hallelujah. The slave owners did not win.
You couldn't imagine life on this planet without salsa and rumba and rock and roll and jazz and like all this music. Even country and western music has a backbeat that did not come from the British Isles. It's like this is part of the heritage of survival culture that humanity should be really proud of. That there is a way to survive whatever difficulties there are, and music is a celebration of this. So right now we're celebrating the fact that Cuban bands have been allowed back to come here and play for U.S. audiences. And we have our latest CD on Zoho Records came out just this year, called "I'll See You in Cuba." And all of a sudden, when I say that phrase, "I'll see you in Cuba," and it's an open invitation to all of our audience, I realize all of a sudden it's like saying, "Oh, let's smoke some marijuana," or something like that, because unbelievably, it's illegal for people in the United States to go to Cuba right now still. So we still need to push for some more change, right?
Oh, we got a long way to go.
In the 1950s, my grandfather drove from Detroit down to Key West, got on a ferry boat, tourist card, and drove around Havana and drove back home. That would be normal. If Cubans could come to the United States, not on a raft, but on a ferry boat, for example, or on a plane, and just with a tourist card come and visit the United States, that would be really good. You would not get just you would get a whole lot more of a diverse amount of the population, and the relationship between the two countries would be back to normal.
Well, we certainly are hoping for that. As a kid growing up, my parents went to Cuba just before the revolution, and I grew up with not only a Cuban mask, which I still have somewhere, beautiful of it, El Diablo, the devil, and then we had a conga drum, which I don't know where it is. I don't know if it's buried in the attic back in Connecticut, but I'm hoping it'll still emerge.